Welcome to this special edition of I-24 News. I'm Nicole Zedek live in Tel Aviv as Israel is about to make the sharp, emotional transition from Yom HaZikaron, Memorial Day, to Yom HA'ATZMAUT, Independence Day. It is a uniquely Israeli experience, from grief to gratitude, from mourning to celebration. And in many ways, that contrast captures the essence of this country. The joy of independence is inseparable from the sacrifice of those who gave their lives to defend it. So while today has been marked by reflection and remembrance, Israel is now preparing to flip that switch. At sundown, the celebrations begin with families gathering, barbecues lighting up, and public festivities taking over the streets. And it all begins with the official state ceremony in Jerusalem that you are taking a look at right now. It is just beginning, and we will be taking this entire ceremony live. But before the speeches and the festivities do begin, we'll take a moment here in studio to quickly discuss. I'm joined by our I-24 News correspondent, Balig Sladin. Balig, people are coming into place. Once again, this ceremony just beginning to mark the transition from a day of mourning to a day of celebration. But over the next few hours, what exactly should we be expecting from this ceremony this evening?
Yes, the lighting of the torch ceremony on Har Herzl starts now with 14 people that should be lighting that torch. This is a very important day for Israel, of course, and as you've mentioned, this transition from the Memorial Day toward this Independence Day for the State of Israel. And today we are going to witness 14 people getting that honor for them. First of all, of course, the Argentinian president, Javier Milei. And just before that, I need to mention here that what we are going to see from those people, everything surrounding the war, everything connected to the resilience of the Israelis, the grief as well, and definitely the the sense of unity inside the Israeli society. So, and also the foreign support as Israel sees it, and this is where Javier Milei comes. And the Argentinian president that already did the rehearsal, he was pre-recorded, and his recording will be aired today. He already is on his way to Argentina, back to Argentina. He's going to be the first foreign leader to light that torch, and it's a clear message from the organizers of this ceremony that Israel, although it stands, its position in the world did deteriorate because of the war in Gaza, but definitely there are still many leaders in the world that do support it. Also, soldier Ari Spitz, who is a Givati soldier that was severely injured in combat, and he is going to represent that side of the IDF, the soldiers that were wounded in these wars, and he's going to light a torch as well. Gal Hirsch, he was the coordinator for the government for the hostages and the missing person. He is somewhat controversial because of a statement that he said. He said that the protests and the demonstrations in Israel, why the hostages were there in Gaza, were very encouraging for Hamas, and that's why Hamas did not want to release the hostages sooner. So that's why some, at least, of the families of the hostages didn't want him to light this torch, but in spite of that, he was chosen today, and he's going to do this act today. This is also another person that is connected to the issue of the hostages, Talik Gvili, the mother of Ron Gvili, the last Israeli.
And we are taking a look right now, at Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, who is attending this ceremony.
Yeah, we were discussing actually whether he will going to attend or not. He's right there beside the head of the parliament, and also, of course, Miri Regev, the organizer of this ceremony. He or she, excuse me, is the Minister of Transportation, but she likes to take that role. She has been doing this for years now, apart from that year when the Israeli, this current government wasn't actually the coalition. She took that, she wasn't leading this ceremony, but here she is back this year and also last year organizing this Independence Day ceremony. So we're talking about Talik Gvili, the mother of Ron Gvili, the last Israeli hostage, the deceased hostage, of course, that was brought back to Israel. And also Asaf Granit, who is a chef, that is very successful globally. He has restaurants all over the globe, Paris, London, and definitely also here in Israel. He's symbolizing the Israeli cultural presence. Even during the war, he took also part of that war. He's a medic, and on October 7th, he was enlisted also to the army and went to help. Also, Avraham Zarviv, we talked about the controversy surrounding Gal Hirsch. Avraham Zarviv is a rabbi, and he's a very strict religious Zionist rabbi. He reflects a lot of the identity of this war, but definitely also his statements regarding Gaza were not very accepted by many in Israel. So this is another controversial statement.
All right, Balig, with an overview of what we can be expecting in the coming hours as this ceremony, the 78th Independence Day ceremony, is now getting underway in Jerusalem. Let's listen in to what's happening over on Har Herzl.
This is arranged and ready. Colonel Derry, please continue. Guard, right, turn. Guard, forward, march. Guard, halt. Guard, left, turn. Yizkor. The memorial prayer, please be upstanding, please rise. Guard, present. Arms. Guard, shoulder arms. The Yizkor prayer will be recited by Professor Shlomo Mor-Yosef, the chairman of the Public Council for the commemoration of the soldier. His younger brother of blessed memory, Lieutenant Uri Mor-Yosef, fell in the Yom Kippur War while serving as an armed corps officer. In 1990, his father-in-law, Ze'ev Shiftan of blessed memory, was murdered in a terrorist attack in Egypt. May the people of Israel remember its sons and daughters, their faithful and brave memory, soldiers of the Israel Defense Forces, and all the fighters of the underground movements, the combat brigades who fought in the battles of our nation, and the members of the intelligence, security, and police forces and prison services who gave their lives in the war for the rebirth of Israel, and all those who were murdered in this land and beyond it by terrorists. May Israel remember and be blessed through their descendants and mourn the radiance of their youth the beauty of their heroism, the sanctity of their will, and their self-sacrifice in the heavy battle. May the fallen of Israel's wars and campaigns crowned with victory and sealed in the hearts of Israel from generation to generation. Guard present arms. Stand at ease. Please be seated. Leave me a place to hold you. Even leave me a place to hold you in the dream.
שחלמת עליי בלילה
The torch kindling ceremony and the transfer of the national flags for the year 5786 will open with the raising of the national flag to the top of the mast. Please rise. Prepare to raise the national flag to the top of the mast. Guard, attention. Shoulder arms. Present arms. Shoulder arms. Please be seated. Guard, right turn. Forward, march. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. The Gaza Strip, our objective is one, victory. The eyes of the world are upon us. The people of Israel trust us and stand behind us. We will not return home until we have fully completed the mission assigned upon us. again. Here is the command. Complete your missions.
כשאת עצובה, גם לי פתאום אין חשק להיות יותר שמח. אם בליבך יש אבל שאת שלוותך חדרה אל מול עצבך, אני מונח שרוע, כואב ולא רגוע, וליבי ניחומים לך שולח. כשאת עצובה, כשאת עצובה,
Return home safely. We are waiting for you. For some time now, I've been living in a split screen. The heart contracts and expands countless times a day. For one moment I cry over people I never even knew. The next moment I cling to every fragment of optimism thrown my way, because in this country of both that and both that, everything is woven into everything. Life and bereavement, the sacred and the secular, the tomorrow and the yesterday.
אנו כמו כל החולמים אני מאמין בניסים
I believe in miracles because I've seen the sun through the shutters, crumbling the darkness into dust of compassion. I've seen an entire people roar and rise from the fall, and from the prayer of this land begin once again. To lose a limb in the blast of an explosion, and then to be rehabilitated, to learn again how to run, to return to the battle and heal, because injury is not an excuse. If until now I thought that a diamond was the strongest material in the world, it's only because I hadn't yet met the human soul. I have encountered so much hope recently. A single lantern lights at the edge of memory. People hand in hand like a human network rebuild their home again, as if from Genesis, from the beginning. And one man, a man who returned from hell, told how he cleared within himself so much space for hope, love, renewal, and if he succeeded, who am I to despair? Ultimately, it's the small soldier in the decisive moment who doesn't let the enemy escape, who sleeps but 2 hours with his boots on, burning eyes, blackened hands with soot, who turns from a joker into a hero. Ultimately, it's the small soldier in a sleepless night standing for the devil at a fateful moment, with psalms hidden in his left pocket, who texts, "I love you," to his mother, and then goes in.
Intelligence operation.
The enemies of all civilization are in retreat thanks to the bravery and incredible skill of the Israeli Defense Forces.
Fighting shoulder to shoulder with such a capable ally is a true force multiplier. We salute your courage and your contribution.
הידידות העמוקה בין ארצות הברית לישראל משנה את פני המזרח התיכון.
This friendship between America and us, they are the ones that have created this force, the difference between darkness and light. No, you will not defeat me. You will not defeat me so quickly. You cannot defeat me so quickly. No, I cannot be defeated so rapidly. And from here we will rise to things that have no name. The silence between heartbeats alongside the page that will never fade. To build for ourselves a home, warm and home. And from here we will rise to joyful things. A midday wedding, a table with snacks, a Friday night dinner, a box of flowers, mothers with strollers, overflowing with smiles. We will yet rise again from the hardest of days, because of you, because of us, because of the miracle of people. No, you will not defeat us so quickly. Distinguished guests, the Prime Minister of Israel's Independence Day greeting. Dear citizens of Israel, dear brethren, this is Levi, just a little one. He's only 8 months old, Levi. He was born after the rising lion. And Ari, he's only a month old. He was born in the roar of the lion. They represent the continuity of the state of Israel and the generations, and thus and the strength of our spirit beating within us. And here on the 78th Independence Day, we stand tall and we say, Am Israel Chai. It is stronger than ever, and together with United States of Israel, they fought the evilest forces of the world. They want to ensure the infinity of the state of Israel. In every generation they came with a wish to topple us, but we are rising against them, and the axis of the evil that want to eradicate us is now fighting for their survival. We actually made so many of their paths collapse, but we went out with 2 daring missions, and we embarked on them because of this existential threat. We're talking about thousands of ballistic missiles and against the nuclear weapon, but with our unprecedented friendship with the state of Israel, with United States of America, and our best friend, we've already faced Israel as a true force, and we have opened these circles to invite people to live in peace with us. And thanks to your steadfast stand, you, the people of Israel, and the very brave decisions that we took that have changed the Middle East. And now, for the Independence Day, we remember all our sons and daughters who fell and sacrificed themselves. Thanks to them, we are standing here together. We are embracing the families of the fallen and the wounded, who we wish for their speedy recovery. In this resurrection fight, and in the rising lion and in the roar of the lion, we achieved amazing achievements, and we brought back every single hostage. And we are hitting out at the Hamas from every side to ensure that Gaza will no longer be a threat against Israel. Yes, we use those beepers, and Nasrallah we destroyed, because we want to distance the threat from the northern border, and in Syria as well, from the Yarmouk to Mount Hermon. And we are guarding and safeguarding our brothers, the Druze. We are stampeding ahead in economy, in transport, in science, technology, innovation, and settling. But more than anything, in our spirit. And we will continue, as we did in Gaza in the north. There is so much hope that we receive from this victory generation, youngsters who believe in their vocation and they believe in this mission. I met with them everywhere, and their desire, is awe-inspired. Truly, they are determined. Many years ago, our father said, Shivat Zion, we were but dreamers. On the 78th day of independence, we are listening, and we can do it. Yes, we are perhaps divided amongst us, but we reunify ourselves and unite like a steel fist, and we are roaring like lions. We are one people on the front and in the home front, in the hospitals and the shelters, in moments of pain and of happiness. We have no other land, no other country, and with the help of God, we will unite this land and promise our future. We wish you all a tremendously happy Day of Independence to the infinity of Israel.
The Masters of Ceremony of Israel's 78th torch-kindling ceremony, actress Mali Levy and singer-songwriter Rotem Cohen. Happy Independence Holiday, the State of Israel. Good evening, Mali. Good evening, Rotem. This Independence Day celebration is being held in the midst of a historic time, a time when Israel is transforming the entire Middle east. After more than 2 years of determined fighting on 7 fronts, and having completed the sacred task of returning our brothers and sisters who were taken hostage on October 7, back home, last February, Israel set out to thwart the severest of threats posed to it, the murderous Iranian regime's mission to obtain a nuclear weapon. Tonight, we want to show our support for all those who have paid the highest of prices for the fight for freedom. We extend our support to the bereaved families, the wounded whose bodies and souls bear the scars of war, and of course, all of you, members of the defense forces and the families of all those who serve our country. This Independence Day celebration is made possible first and foremost thanks to you. This year, the State of Israel marks 50 years to the Entebbe raid or Operation Thunderbolt, one of the most wondrous moments of its history. When a small team of select brave warriors raided a hostile territory and brought back home those who were taken far from home. Generations separate the times and warriors, but the same spirit was shared by them all. The spirit that connects those who bravely stormed the Entebbe airport to those who are risking their lives during the current war. A spirit of courage, endless determination, and willingness to pay the price of reshaping reality. It is the spirit thanks to which we keep writing new chapters in the book of Israeli valor. And now, Speaker of Knesset, MK Amir Ohana, will greet us. My brothers and sisters, citizens of Israel, just now, the sacred day where Israel is remembering its fallen has ended with tears and silence alongside the bereaved families. We remember and remind of the huge price, the high price of the revival of the Jewish people in their land, and our debt, the debt we all share to them, to continue and maintain and safekeep the State of Israel and the people of Israel so that the price of their sacrifice will not be in vain. In the last few ceremonies, we have been praying for our brothers and sisters, the hostages, so that the prophecy will come true, that there is hope for us and our sons will return home. Thank God, our prayers have been answered. We have returned them all, the living and the dead. And this Independence Day, for the first time in over a decade, there is no longer any hostage in the Gaza Strip. It happened thanks to the courage of our warriors, the determination of our leadership, the valor of our people, and the strong alliances with our friends. Thanks to this combination, Israel is now stronger than ever and can proudly, with a head held up high, can say, Happy Independence Day, Israel. When we began Operation Roaring Lion not too long ago, like many of citizens of Israel who are parents and have children, like many of you, I had to explain to my 10-year-old children why the sirens are back, why we're once again going into our shelters, bomb shelters, just like my parents when I was a child, and when I found myself explaining to them why there are wars in the world. And then they asked me, but Daddy, we're going to win in the end, right? I looked them in the eye and I reminded them of a story they know well from the past of the Jewish people. I told them that just as David defeated Goliath in the Elah Valley because they are called David and Elah, so we too are fighting huge enemies, and they are more in number than we are, and yet we will prevail. We may be small in terms of our population and territory, but we are huge in our faith and in our determination and boldness. Our children have gone through so much. Children of Israel have gone through so much in recent years. They have so much strength, which they exhibit. What a wonderful future awaits us all with such brave children. Please give a round of applause to Israel's children. They deserve it. In the last 12 months, and especially in the last operation, we took action to fight our enemies everywhere and to live up to the words of the book of Esther, that things will be reversed. Those who have sought to destroy us will be destroyed. Those who planned to kill us were killed. Those who took action for us to be destroyed were destroyed. The state of Israel has proven superpower-like capabilities that only very few countries have on this planet. What does winning look like? Just like that. When all the names that have been threatening Israeli citizens for many years were killed and replaced once, twice, 3 times, that's what winning looks like. When Israeli cunning has turned imaginary scenarios into a bold reality on enemy territory, that's what winning looks like. When over the past 12 months, right when the war was happening, 20,000 Jews chose to make Aliyah to Israel, that is what winning looks like. When in the last 12 months, 177,000 babies were born, that's what winning looks like. And that is your victory, citizens of Israel. You who gave our warriors the strength to bring these accomplishments, these unprecedented accomplishments, in your resilience, by standing strong, by volunteering, and with your inner strength. The people of Israel, I salute you. And although our mission has not yet been completed and we must continue to fight, we have something to fight for. We have a story that has yet to be told. No such story has been told in the history of mankind. We have 100 generations worth of hope from every end of the world to return to Zion and Jerusalem. This hope, which is also our national anthem, Hatikva, is part of our lives and drives our dreams. The hope is 2,000 years old, to be a free nation in our state, the land of kings and prophets, the land of dreamers and warriors, the hope that the Creator, who makes peace up in heaven, will mercifully also give us peace here and also among us. When the first Zionist Congress ended, Herzl wrote in his journal that in Basel he founded the Jewish state. I had said that today the entire world would have laughed at me, perhaps in 5 years, but certainly in 50 years' time, all will recognize it. So there were those who laughed, and there were those who despaired. There always were and always will be those who will say, it's too late, it's too little, it's too hard, it's too far away. And there will always, always, in the face of this despair, will be people with hope. Just like that, 78 years ago, the founders of this state decided to realize the hope of our nation and established a Jewish state in the land of Israel. And that is how each and every one of us, that is what we should all do, because this country is very, very good. Its people are very good, and there is no better place than Israel in the entire world to turn hope into a reality. And if you so wish, if we will all wish so, it is no dream. Happy Independence Day, Israel. The Knesset is honored with kindling the torch in honor of Israel's 78th Independence Day. I, Amir Ohana, son of Esther and Meir, who have come to Israel from Morocco, Speaker of Knesset, my partner of Alon and the father of Ella and David, do kindle this torch of Israel's 78th Independence Day in honor of those who serve in the Israel Defense Force and the security forces, the emergency and first responders. People of Israel are praying for your success and well-being and wishes a speedy recovery to all the wounded, the physically and mentally wounded. In honor of our good friends around the world who stand by our side in our toughest of times, loyally and courageously, choosing the right side of history. Leaders and influencers, presidents and prime ministers, among them, the president of Argentina. You will soon see him here, Javier Milei. In honor of the Knesset, the beating heart of Israeli democracy, the home that represents all Israeli citizens from all different religions, factions, and perceptions, that has hosted world leaders and has positioned itself as one of the most important platforms in the world, and to the glory of the State of Israel. Thank you very much, Speaker of Knesset, MK Amir Ohana. While the war is raging and our warriors engage in courageous actions, we are repeatedly exposed to expressions of extraordinary humaneness by ordinary citizens. Wonderful Israelis from all sectors of society who have proven with their actions that we will only prevail if we love unconditionally. The volunteers who showed up at sites hit by missiles to help families in their moments of uncertainty. The young people who visit the elderly, bringing them essentials. The organizations helping farmers tend to their fields, taking care of one another during the long hours spent in the shelters, and the list goes on. This past year has been so challenging that the minister in charge of the torch-kindling ceremony, member of Cabinet Brigadier General in Reserves Miri Regev, decided to entitle tonight's celebration Forces of Renewal, a choice that reflects our tremendous appreciation for our entire nation on the war front and home front. The torch kindlers who will come up here tonight are among the generators of Israel's renewal, mothers and fathers, the young and the elderly, who wake up each morning after a sleepless night to boost the nation's spirit and establish our security technologically and morally, powerfully. People in the deepest sense of the word who remind us that Israel's strength lies not only in the ability to fight, but in the ability to heal, to walk safely down the paths of rehabilitation, rebuilding and recovery, and grow a new tomorrow. These are the very examples of beautiful Israelis, a nation whose spirit never wavers. May the torch kindlers step forward. Behind Israel's incredible accomplishments these last few years are hundreds of thousands of warriors in regular and reserve service who continue to carry out their mission in the most commendable way. Through the two remarkable officers who will kindle the torch tonight, we wish to convey our thanks and respect for all security forces, IDF warriors and commanders, members of the Israel Security Agency and Mossad, Israel police officers, border police officers, Israel prison service officers, and firefighters, as well as all those who protect our nation and country every single day. Major N. Major N has overcome numerous complex challenges, both on the battlefield and in rehabilitative hospitals. 2 days before October 7, she began a new post as the commander of the Designated Intelligence Collection Company. She was wounded in battle but decided to keep serving. She was then wounded once more in battle, this time sustaining a severe injury, which forced her to undergo several complex surgeries, during which her leg was amputated. After more than 2 years of rehabilitation at Beilinson and Berthes, she will serve once more within the next few months on the Combat Intelligence Collection Corps and continue to be at the forefront of action-taking, responsibility, dedication and devotion. Colonel M. Colonel M served in various positions on the Israeli Air Force, including Squadron Commander. In his current position, he is heading the drafting of operational Air Force plans for Operation Roaring Lion and Operation Rising Lion. During these operations, the Israeli Air Force has led unprecedented missions. The strong arm and long arm of the IDF eliminated the regime's leadership, including the supreme leader, destroyed enrichment facilities and missile development centers, disrupted defense systems, successfully intercepted dozens of thousands of missiles launched to Israeli territory, and proved that Israel will thwart any threat posed to its citizens. Let the torch be kindled. I, Major N, daughter of Yehoshua and Esther, do kindle this torch in honor of the ground force warriors, among whom are my brothers and sisters from the Combat Intelligence Collection Corps, who operate on all borders and beyond, identifying, directing, destroying threats, providing our forces with real-time information, and bolstering our edge on the battlefield. In honor of the wounded, whose bodies and souls were injured, and who now fight another campaign on the recovery front. And in memory of those who were not able to withstand the pain. In honor of my husband Ran and all families, parents, siblings, and friends of regular career and reserve soldiers, and the medical staff in hospitals, a huge, incredible group of plain-clothed troops. Behind every wounded person is a devoted, supportive community whose life changes in an instant. We could not have done this without you. I, Colonel M, do kindle this torch in honor of the warriors on air, sea, and land, in regular as well as reserve service, who work around the clock in defense and offense, boldly and with great conviction. The Air Force has carried out dozens of sorties in enemy territory, intercepting countless air threats. Behind every mission are the people, technicians, administrators, logistics officers, construction workers, intelligence, control, and planning officers. I take this opportunity to say thank you. In honor of the combined forces in the IDF and our tight collaboration with security organizations, in memory of the heroes who have risked their lives for our homeland, in honor of the families of career and reserve soldiers who are partners on this journey and mission, and especially to my beloved wife and children, who give me strength every day anew. In honor of the citizens of Israel, who accompany us in the Middle Eastern skies with silent prayers and high hopes, we will keep striking our enemies as long as required until we are victorious. May God give his people strength. May God bless his people with peace. And to the glory of the State of Israel. Israeli high-tech is an engine of constant renewal. The high-tech community continues to change reality, create and establish Israel's position as a global technological power. To the next torch kindler, we wish to salute the ability to innovate and be renewed. Gili Ra'anan, a leading cyber entrepreneur and investor, one of the most prominent figures in the new generation of entrepreneurs, and co-owner of Hapoel Tel Aviv basketball team. During his military service in Unit 8200, he invested a decade in developing groundbreaking technologies, and for this work of his, he won the Israel Security Award. He later founded a series of technological ventures profoundly influencing the global cyber industry and significantly improving the country's economy and security. Gili serves as an inspiration for the younger generation of entrepreneurs, a generation that learns from him how one dream can change the world. Let the torch be kindled. I, Gili Ra'anan, son of Edna and Captain Vicky Ra'anan, do kindle this torch in honor of Israel's high-tech entrepreneurs. And the investors who choose to believe in them at the beginning of their journey. Like the pioneers who set out to cultivate the land when Israel was established, in the high-tech community, we sow ideas and reap a new reality with spirit, courage, and intelligence. In honor of the men and women who work in cyber in the intelligence units, who break new ground with cunning and expertise and protect Israel in hidden arenas. In honor of the young generation of Israeli entrepreneurs, the right and duty of us all to learn, deepen, and protect science and the pursuit of excellence. They are the necessary foundation for a free, democratic, and growing state. In honor of my brothers and sisters in the red bleachers, and all sports lovers in Israel, who prove that even in challenging times, there is a love in us that will awaken, touch us, and prevail. And in honor of my family and in memory of my beloved daughter Adi, who was killed in the Tzafit stream tragedy, and reminds me just how precious life is and just how great our responsibility is to build a better future here. And in honor of the parents, brothers, and sisters in bereaved families, I send you a hug, big and strong. For your strength to continue living boldly and creating despite the pain, and to the glory of the State of Israel.
In a reality that never stops changing, doctors and physicians, researchers and medical teams stand time and time again on the front line under impossible conditions, extraordinary pressure. They learn in real time, develop solutions on the spot, and remind us all the remarkable miracle called the Israeli healthcare system. The next torch kindler represents this exceptional community, Professor Dina Ben Yehuda. She is one of the leading figures in the field of medicine research in Israel who has saved the lives of many patients over the years. She's held a series of significant positions within the healthcare system, including chair of the National Medicine Committee in the Faculty of Medicine at the Hebrew University, now leading the hematology division, playing a central role in the fight against cancer, directing the Department of Medical Research Education at the Weizmann Institute, and trains the next generation of physicians. Dina's part of the family, deeply committed to service, to receive the Chief of Staff citation for her work during the Yom Kippur War. Husband Aryeh and her two daughters have made caring for others a way of life. Her third daughter, Or, is the first woman to become a battalion commander in the infantry. I, Dina Ben Yehuda, daughter of Yechiel and Mary of blessed memory, I am kindling this torch in honor of the doctors and the physicians and all the medical staff. An extraordinary community that faces difficult years with courage. From the struggle against COVID to the long and painful war of today, they save lives and continue to support the wounded in body and in spirit. In honor of the IDF Medical Corps, unmatched anywhere in the world. Its medical teams operate under fire, and they save lives in moments and places where all seems lost. One member of this remarkable community is our beloved nephew, Itamar Ben Yehuda, a combat medic and Golani combatant who saved his comrades and fell on the October 7th, very close to where his uncle Yitzhak ben Yehuda fell in the War of Independence, defending Kibbutz Be'eri. In honor of the researchers whose determination enables us to face the challenges of the present and the future and makes Israel, our Israel, a research powerhouse to which the entire world looks. In honor of compassion and humanity, of the most essential medicine of all, which we as a society need them now more than ever, and for the glory of the State of Israel. In years of upheaval and regional uncertainty, the importance of the deep alliance between the Israelis and the Druze community, an alliance built on loyalty, sacrifice, and shared choice. This evening, we wish to thank the many women and men who work to strengthen this bond and support our Druze brothers and sisters with dedication, responsibility, and mutual commitment. Tamar Atala. Tamer has accumulated nearly a decade of service in the economic core of the IDF and the defense establishment. Alongside his work as an accountant, in parallel with his reserve service, he served as the driving force behind the Special Emergency Operations Center of the community established by Sheikh Mubarak Tarif following the massacre of the Druze communities in Sweden, Syria. Tamar's work and that of the many volunteers who joined the operations expresses our shared commitment to nurturing the strong bond between the people of Israel and our Druze brothers here and beyond the border. May you raise and kindle that torch. I, Tamar Atala, son of Nizam and Nadia, husband to Maram and father of Noah and Erez, kindle this torch in honor of the alliance between the Jewish community and the Druze community in Israel. A bond of partnership, loyalty, shared destiny, a connection we are committed to safeguarding in honor of the sons and daughters of the Druze community. People driven by a sense of mission, committed to the development, security, and prosperity of the State of Israel. In honor of our brothers in Syria and around the world, and all those who stood by them, supported them, and acted on their behalves in times of crisis. In honor of my partners in the Operations Center, founded by the spiritual leader, Sheikh Mubarak Tarif, and local leaders, and in honor of the volunteers from all across Israeli society who stood together to save lives, in honor of those who choose to act for others, for when a person encounters another's pain and responds with compassion, responsibility, and action, they embody the most beautiful face of the human spirit, and for the glory of the State of Israel.
קהל נכבד, השנה אנחנו מתכבדים בנשיא משואה, ידיד ישראל יקר, נשיא ארגנטינה, דוקטור חוויאר מילי.
Hindler and a dear friend of Israel, the President of Argentina, Dr. Javier Milei, accompanied by the Secretary General of the Presidency, Mrs. Karina Milei. Welcome.
האישה הבאה מייצגת את החוסן ואת אורך הרוח של יישובי קו העימות, את האומץ להכות שורש
the courage to put down roots and say with determined actions, here is our home. Ora Hatan, the Iron Woman from Moshav Shtula, who stayed to fight for her land and for the region she loves so much. In 1995, Ora, along with her mother Sarah, established a Kurdish restaurant called Himdat HaGalil. For her contribution to the development of the Galilee, her mother Sarah was selected to kindle the torch on Israel's 58th Independence Day. And tonight, Ora is privileged with kindling a torch herself exactly 20 years after her mother did so. Although the family restaurant was hit in the War of Revival, Ora continues to cook for hundreds of soldiers every day, reminding us all that no missile or rocket will crack northern Israeli residents' steel determination. Let the torch be kindled. I, Ora Hatan, daughter of Hatan and Sarah Hatan of blessed memory, who left the Kurdistan diaspora behind and sought to make their generations-long dream come true, and come to the land of Israel, the land of our ancestors, and have eternal joy upon their heads. To kindle this torch in honor of all the residents living on northern Israel's confrontation line. Brave laborers who hold onto the ground, saying night and day, we must never lose the north. In honor of God. In honor of our beloved soldiers who protect us. And the number one soldier, Eyal Zamir, our Chief of General Staff. And I am proud of the privilege I have been given to fill your hearts with joy. A warm hug to all mothers and wives out there too. You are the lionesses. I salute you. In honor of the Kurdish community in Israel. A community that has deepened its roots while soaring to the sky. In honor of our children. The future generation, including my sons Yonatan and Yair, who dream of the Galilee blooming once more, and it will. I promise you that. And we must give them a life without fear and tension. In memory of my mother, the legendary shepherdess who left behind a glorious legacy of endless giving and love to God and mankind and the soil, the land. Thanks to her, I always remember, this is my land. I am forever rooted in Shtula. And to the glory of the state of Israel, my beloved country. As we have just learned from Ora Hatan, sometimes all we need in order to hold on is a smell or a flavor that give us a sense of hope. Tonight, we seek to honor a man who has turned the kitchen and culinary world into a bonding language of emotion. Asaf Granit. One of the most prominent figures in the world of restaurants, a groundbreaking chef who brought Israeli cuisine front and center of the world stage. On October 7th, Asaf was in Rome. After the tragedy took place, he immediately returned to Israel, reporting to reserve duty as a combat medic, while also enlisting in his own way. He set up food projects, including Tzav Shmone, or emergency call-up order food truck, that went out to meet evacuees, the wounded and soldiers, and offer them a moment of healing, comfort, and humanity. Let the torch be kindled. I, Asaf Granit, son of Edna and Yossi Granit, do kindle this torch in honor of Jerusalem, where I was born and raised, a city that has taught me since childhood to connect East and West, religious and secular, Hapoel and Beitar football clubs, in honor of all great Israeli chefs, those who have shown us the way, and the entire community of restaurateurs, men and women of the kitchen, who are going through such unbearably difficult years and yet continue every day to open their door, turn on their stove, and cook, creating sources of comfort and hope for us all. In honor of my talented partners and our talented, amazing teams in Israel and worldwide, in honor of my friends in the Maglan unit and all members of the Defense Forces, combat and physicians who make sure that our forces are well, and especially in honor of all grandparents out there, like Grandpa Masoudi Fergan, who immigrated from Morocco, and Grandma Leah Gutreman, who immigrated from Poland, and thanks to whom my beloved son Leo, every Friday night dinner, has matbucha and kneidalach soup, in honor of this entire nation and this country that I love so much. A nation that knows, despite all the criticism, despite all the divides, and all the differences, to come together, reconvene around the same table, around the same pot, around the same story, and to find the strength to rise up again, together, and to the glory of the State of Israel. In the days when Israel continues to fight the forces of evil in Iran, there are very few in our midst who carry memories of other days with them. The following torch kindler was born in Tehran. His incredible story is unlike any you have ever heard before. Roni Ayenesaz. Roni grew up at the time when the Islamic Revolution brought the Ayatollah's regime to power and dreamed of leaving Iran and immigrating to Israel. In order to get a passport, he had to enlist the Iranian army. After doing so, he was required to hide his Judaism, even from the people he served with closely. He climbed to key positions in the Iranian judicial system, all the way to senior assistant to the deputy president of Iran's Supreme Court. Roni made sure that many cases against Jews, which the regime sought to prosecute, would be dismissed, and saved the lives of dozens. In 1997, he himself managed to escape from Iran and put down roots here in Israel. Together with his brother, he established several successful business ventures that employ, among others, some of the people he had rescued from the cruel regime in Tehran. Let the torch be kindled.
Gir and Gitti, may they live long lives. Kindle this torch in honor of the Holy One. Blessed be He who helped me leave Iran and build my home in Israel and fulfill my dreams together with my dear wife, Azita. In honor of the privilege to contribute with all my strength to the Jewish people from my days in the court in Tehran until today in the State of Israel. In honor of the magnificent community of Iranian Jewry, and in honor of the brave, great peace-seeking Iranian people, the vast majority of whom love the Jewish people and dream of freedom. With the faith that we will live to see the walls collapse and the dark regime fall, and as I will once again visit the landscapes of my homeland in Iran, Be'omid Peruzi and Nur Baltariki, in hope for the victory of light over darkness, and for the glory of the State of Israel. On the 20th of January 2026, an entire nation was able for a brief moment to breathe again. 843 days after he fell in battle on October the 7th, the IDF announced that it had returned the body of Staff Sergeant Ran Gueli of blessed memory, a fighter in the Negev Yamam unit of the Israel police. On the morning of October the 7th, Ran was at his home in the community of Meitar. Despite his injury, he rushed to the front line in the Gaza envelope. He took part in the battles for Kibbutz Alumim, saved dozens of survivors from the Nova Festival massacre, and eliminated dozens of terrorists. Even after being severely wounded, he continued to fight until his ammunition ran out. He ran in battle, and his body was taken to the Gaza Strip. With his return for burial in the land he so deeply loved, and after more than a decade of determined efforts led by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, there are no longer any Israeli hostages held in Gaza since Protective Edge. Ran, a hero of Israel, was the first to go out and the last to return. During the struggle to bring the hostages home, the people of Israel came to love Ran's figure and his remarkable family, led by Talik and her husband Itzik, who acted with dignity to bring their son home. This evening, Talik will light the torch in Ran's name and in his memory, one who took an active part in bringing Ran home and in the return of all 255 hostages from Gaza and additional Israelis from enemy states is Brigadier General Gal Hirsch. Gal, a courageous fighter, was severely wounded in a terrorist ambush north of Ramallah. After a long year of rehabilitation, he returned to command the Binyamin Brigade and went on to decades of service as a fighter and commander. The day after October 7th, he assumed the sensitive and complex role of coordinator for hostages and missing persons, acting with determination and dedication, burning the midnight oil in Israel and abroad, and did not stop until completing the sacred mission entrusted to him. May they kindle the torch. I, Gal Hirsch, son of Yitzhak of blessed memory, and Rachel, may she live a long life. Light this torch and kindle it with pain, pride, and hope. In honor of the hostages who fought courageously, those we succeeded in saving and those we failed to bring back alive. In honor of the families who lived in a nightmare, those who still wait, and those who now live with a terrible loss. In honor of the people of Israel, who cried out from the depths and prayed for the safety of our people. In honor of those serving, my brethren, in regular and reserve duty, who risked their lives and sacrificed them with one dream in their hearts, to bring the hostages, living and fallen, home. In honor of the wounded who choose life, the fallen heroes of Israel, the grieving families, the IDF, Shin Bet, and my uncle, may he have blessed memory, and the enduring spirit of comradeship, in their name and in their honor. My colleagues in the hostage and missing persons framework, in the IDF, in the Shin Bet, in the Mossad, in the government ministries, our allies in Donald J. Trump's administration, and the President Trump, and under the leadership of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, remarkable and determined people committed to completing the mission to return sons to their borders, for we are Israelis, and we will turn the world upside down so that none of our brothers and sisters are left behind. And in honor of my wife Donna, my beloved family, my homeland, the state of Israel, whose peace and security are the essence of my life. I, Talik Gwili, daughter of Meir and Ilana Tzioni, wife of Itzik, a proud mother of Omri, Ran, Shira, and my daughter-in-law Sharon, I kindle this torch in memory of my son Rani, my eldest son, my hero who fought to his last bullet in the battle for Kibbutz Alumim. In honor of the boy who sanctified the uniform he wore and was so proud to be a Golani combatant and to be a police officer in the Yamam. Rani, there's no more person prouder than I to be your mother. My pride is stronger than my sorrow. In honor of the families of the hostages, our new family, in honor of the Knesset and the government of Israel, led by Benjamin Netanyahu, who did not give up until the last hostage was returned. You promised and you fulfilled. In honor of the Israeli police, the border police, the IDF soldiers, thanks to you, we live today. In memory of all the heroes of the nation who fell for this state, Rand's brothers in service and on the same path, we will never forget you. And to all our enemies, I want you to know this. We have been here always and we will remain here ad infinitum. The people of Israel, left and right, religious and secular, Arabs and Jews, all of us together. May we increase light, choose one another, and remain united. For we are a strong people. We will prevail, and to the glory of the state of Israel.
This is the story of two brothers. They immigrated with their family from Morocco to Dimona in the early 1960s. Children in elementary school. That was when they caught the bug, true love of cinema and movies. They glued chewing gum wrappers together and screened movies on this improvised screen for children in their neighborhood. That was where their dream was born. The dream that would someday lead them to be film producers in a big city and bring the Israeli story to the biggest global film industry stages. Brothers Leon and Moshe Edrei are pillars of Israeli cinema. Over the years, they have brought hundreds of well-loved films to our lives, and at the same time created an impressive enterprise for preserving past films, an initiative that allows future generations to encounter the movies on which we all grew up. Even during the hard years of pandemic and war, Moshe does not stop creating, producing, and renewing, fighting for Israeli cinema and enriching the entire local culture with his spirit. Let the torch be kindled. I, Moshe Edrei, son of Clara and Abraham Edrei of blessed memory, who immigrated from Tangier, Morocco, to the land of dreams, where they sought to build a home and family, do kindle this torch in honor of all generations of Israeli cinema. To the creators, producers, actors, technical crews, and all those who make up our culture, breathing life to the story of all sectors of Israeli society. Israeli art is alive and kicking, and it is our duty to guard it with all our might. To my beloved wife Pnina and my beloved family, my partners along this journey who share my dream. In memory of Leon, my dear brother, my partner in my lifelong enterprise which we built together over 60 years ago in Dimona. 2 children in the middle of the desert who did not see their hometown as a God-forsaken place, but as the place where everything begins. And to all the children in Israel's periphery who dare to dream far and high, believe in yourself, because there is no stronger force than determination, faith, and passion to turn an imagination into reality, and to the glory of the State of Israel. There are those who lead by spirit, others by their contribution to strengthening the power of defense. And there are those who successfully combine all these worlds, such as our next torch kindler, Rabbi Avraham Zarbiv. Rabbi Zarbiv, who serves as a rabbinical court judge, has completed almost 800 days of reserve duty over the past 2.5 years. He fought as a bulldozer operator on the front lines, and dozens of charges and anti-tank missiles could not stop him. During the war, he worked hard to bolster the people's spirit and faith that the path we are on is just. He is an embodiment of stubborn determination that does not give up on combining Torah study with defending the land of Israel. Let the torch be kindled. I, Avraham Zarbiv, son of Rabbi Emmanuel, of blessed memory, and Rebbetzin Dvorah, may she be distinguished for a long life, do kindle this torch in honor of the privilege of studying and teaching Torah, serving the public as a judge, and fighting with the Givati Brigade, the Purple Brigade, in the patrol, and in the construction equipment company, Reich Force, in honor of the bulldozer and excavator operators, the pioneers, the defeaters of enemy, and the dismantlers of terrorist infrastructures who save the lives of our soldiers. In honor of courageous warriors with initiative who think outside the box, to adapt the fighting method to an unprecedented campaign. In honor of the armament warriors and supporters of the fighting, thanks to whom defeat is made possible. In honor of the heroes who fell in battle, and those who fight for their recovery in body and soul. In honor of my wife, the righteous and beloved woman that for the past 2.5 years has been handling all the work at the house on her own. My children, grandchildren, and my 90-year-old mother, who is here today, who have all accompanied me in prayer and concern, and in honor of all the families of those who serve, because our strength comes from you. In honor of the rabbinical courts and beloved Torah scholars, they are priceless. In honor of the people of Israel, a determined and beloved nation, every sector and part. To the glory of the Creator. He alone is the one who gives us the strength to do good, and to the glory of the state of Israel. October 7th, dozens of thousands of injured people were admitted to hospitals and rehabilitative centers. People for whom the battle did not end on enemy soil. It was just the introduction of a much longer campaign, and one that is just as demanding. This spirit we would like to salute today and respect today, inter alia, through the beloved warrior who will kindling the next torch. When the terror attack began, Aryeh Givati warrior was sent to fight, and just months later he was severely wounded after two of his commanders were killed in the same incident. He was sedated and on a ventilator for a month and a half, and when he woke up he discovered that he lost both of his legs and one arm. He was defined as one of the most severely injured of the war, but despite his great loss, his spirit did not fail him. He was armed by the love of his parents and his family and his many friends, and he went on a rehabilitative journey that was so extraordinary it inspired the entire nation. Let the torch be kindled.
אני ארי שפיץ, בנם של לאה וגבי שפיץ, משיא משואה זו לזכרם של כל הלוחמים והלוחמות שנפלו למען קיומנו ועתידנו, לכבוד עשרות אלפי פצועי המלחמה בגוף ובנפש, העוברים מסע שיקום ארוך ומאתגר, ועומדים בגבורה במשימה הארוכה והמורכבת של חזרה לחיים.
Continue on this battle to go back to life. This is yet another war, and here too we have no other choice but to win. In honor of my beloved family and all the families of the injured who stand by their family members' side and shed light even in the worst of times, in honor of the medical teams in the IDF, in the hospitals and in the rehabilitation centers and the various NGOs that work so hard in order to save the many injured, in honor of the Hesder yeshivas that I grew up in, that prove that Torah and military service are two pillars that complete one another. In honor of the privilege to be part of the Jewish and Zionist mission, the greatest one in history, and to the glory of the state of Israel.
In an era in which there are forces that challenge Israel's right to defend itself, a distinguished group of courageous leaders has emerged, proving that there's another way. They chose to strengthen their alliance with Israel, stand by its side on the international stage, and act with freedom and solidarity, with the understanding that the struggle against the axis of evil is a central challenge facing the free world. One of those leaders will conclude tonight the list of torch kindlers. His Excellency, the President of Argentina, Dr. Javier Milei. President Milei is among the most prominent leaders of the free world and among Israel's closest allies, a steadfast supporter of the Jewish people. Since taking office, he has charted a clear course of support for Israel, including his moving declaration of his intention to relocate Argentina's embassy to Jerusalem, an expression of deep commitment and strong friendship between the two nations. Like the Maccabees, who did not fear being a minority and revealed that even a small light can drive away great darkness, so too President Milei has stood courageously in the face of those opponents, fought for the right, the children of light. And just as the Maccabees were aided by the Creator, so too you, President Milei, remind the world once again of the power of faith, hope, and freedom. May the forces of heaven accompany you and all of Argentina.
Gracias. Buenas noches a todos. Quisiera agradecer al presidente Herzog,
I would like to thank President Herzog, my dear friend, Prime Minister Netanyahu,
al presidente de la Mesa, Amir Ohana,
the Knesset Speaker of the House, Ohana, and all the distinguished guests present, and all those who have invited me to this important ceremony. Today, I have the honor of being here as President of the Argentine Republic, joining you on the 78th Independence Day on the State of Israel, a state so young, of a people so ancient. My presence on the 78th Independence Day is not coincidental. In Hebrew, this number is written with two letters, Ayin and Chet. These two letters from deeply inspiring acronyms, eternal freedom, freedom everlasting, which is my highest aspiration, and another meaning, great friend, an expression that reflects the profound friendship between our two great nations. I feel deep gratitude for the opportunity to light one of these torches. representing those 12 torches, representing the tribes of the people of Israel. And what makes this torch even more special is that it is the last, most significant of all, because it completes the cycle, embraces them all, and testifies to the unbreakable unity of the Jewish people. Lighting a flame in the darkness may seem like a simple act, but in truth, it is revolutionary, because before the flame is lit, those who live in darkness have resigned themselves to their fate. The passage from darkness to light is painful. Creating light requires great effort. It is difficult, but unquestionably worth it. Thus, the independence of Israel was a turning point in the history of the Jewish people, a revolution that brought light to a people who had just endured one of the darkest and most cruel periods imaginable to humanity. And yet, we have said that we are moving our embassy for this very reason today, for this sacred place. I wish to reaffirm our intention, because both our nations know that the shadow of the past does not disappear when a flame is lit. Am Israel Chai, and to the glory of the state of Israel.
Torches.
Long live freedom.
12 torches. Like the 12 tribes of Israel.
ותשוב תראה אביב חדש שמח לקראתך נוסיף ונשיר יחד יחד עם כולם נטביע עוף כיונה אל ענן כי את מה שהלב שלי בחר אחרי כל מה שהוא עבר שהלב שלי בחר ואל חיקך תמיד חזר בזה הרגע הנה של המשמר, בסוף הדרך עוד תהיה מלחמה. תפרוף גם השלכת, ותשוב תראה אביב חדש, שמח לקראתך. נוסיף נשים היחד, יחד עם כולם, נביא העוף ויונה אל הגמר. מה שלם שלי
Congratulations to all torch kinders, and thank you to the organizers of this ceremony, the minister in charge of the ceremony, member of cabinet, Brigadier General in Reserves, Miri Regev, and to the Prime Minister's office, to the Theatre Ceremonies and Events Division, headed by Galit Waba Shasho, and the producer or Tal Production Company, Chief Producer Tal Danon, Director Ran Zachor, the Home Front, and the Israel Defense Forces. We will now see the flag bearers come up with flags bearing the symbols of the various IDF units. In this flag parade, we will see officers from all IDF units, from the Israel Police, from Border Police, the Israel Prison Service, and the firefighters.
נגלני היחידות קדימה עוד
The flag-bearing units are honoring the Colonel David Rokny of blessed memory, who used to lead the ceremony for 34 years, and Tzadok Shuki of blessed memory, who used to end this parade every year for 38 years. Both of them, leaders of this ceremony and who shaped them, have died just months ago. May our children return home. This year, all of our hostages, dead and alive, have returned to us. The Star of David combined with the map of Israel, a heritage of many years serving as a source of renewal and power. Seventy-eight years of Israeli independence. A gesture to Israeli intelligence that leads in the development of artificial intelligence technologies and their implementation in the various circles of life. Lightbeam, the Israeli laser-based defense system. The groundbreaking innovations in the very near future will make sure Israel has one more level of protection against a range of threats. Circles in motion, a symbol of the wheels of both civil and security industries that complement one another, creating circles of renewal and generating Israel's resilience. A satellite, gesture for Israel's groundbreaking progress, reaching far and high horizons in the world of cyber. Arrows of might, honoring Israel's military technology, the most advanced in the world and one of its key export industries, because both Torah and might come out of Zion. The Star of David, the Jewish people's symbol. The symbol of the Israel Defense Forces is being made up of soldiers from both IT and intelligence divisions. The menorah, the symbol of the state of Israel, at the basis of which is a Star of David. The basis is being composed of Knesset Guard officers and 120 soldiers and officers who have been awarded the President's Award of Excellence. Among them is Itamar Levi Karavani, who is marching alongside his daughter Avia, an IDF commander, and Nechama Giro, who is marching alongside her daughter Gaia, who is an officer on the Gaza Brigade. a flower, denoting growth, renewal, and hope in agricultural fields. Rising lion, a nation rising as a lion. The flag bearers are joined by soldiers from the IT and intelligence corps.
שאגת הארי.
A roaring lion. All of us, in these days and every day, are one Israeli heart, giving, supporting, and hugging.
סבלנים, דגל, שק! הכתב, שק!
עם אחד!
One nation.
לב אחד!
And one heart.
מהמקום, רוח!
פרחים וציפורים
רואה שאני רוצה להיות, רק לא יוצא לי וחסרות לי כולה כמה תפילות. והשם הוא גם ראה את הרצון שהיה לי, כשניסיתי לו אמרתי לו אש. רואה בביזיון שלי במה שהרגשתי, איך התחלתי שוב כל יום מחדש. והשם יתברך תמיד אוהב אותי ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב. השם יתברך תמיד אוהב אותי ותמיד יהיה לי רק טוב.
Many thanks to all the singers and artists who took part in this year's ceremony, the dancers of the Tzuza Company and choreographers Shlomi Elimelech, Noya Michaeli, and Ron Rachamim. The Jerusalem East and West Orchestra and conductor Tom Cohen. And to Mimi Kogan, Dancing with Mimi, and her dancers. The ceremony of transferring the main flags, the national flag and the IDF flag. The flags will be transferred tonight from the Intelligence Division, which held them for guard the outgoing year, to the ICT Division, which will hold them for guard until next year.
דגלני היחידות, קדימה, צעד. חוליות הדגלים הראשיים, קדימה, צעד. חוליות, עמוד. דגלנים, תפוס מקום. משמרות, דגל, שק. משמרות, אחתת, צ'ק. דגלנים, תפוס מקום. חוליות הדגלים הראשיים. קדימה, צעד.
לשירת התקווה, הקהל מתבקש לעמוד.
Please rise for the Israeli national anthem, Hatikva.
המסדר ידגל את נשקו. דגל, צ'ק!
קהל נכבד, אנו מודים לראש הממשלה
We would like to thank the Prime Minister and his wife who have honored us with their presence in this ceremony. Please remain seated until they leave.
This has been Israel's 78th Independence Day, the state ceremony at Mount Herzl in Jerusalem. It is now finishing with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu leaving the vicinity. A 2-hour ceremony with torchlighters, festivities, showing all different walks of Israeli life on this 78th Independence Day. Coming here in studio, we do have our I-24 News correspondent, Belig Sladin. Belig, always a difficult emotional transition, as we were mentioning, from Yom HaZikaron, Memorial Day, to Independence Day, a festive celebration that this was just the beginning of. Now we have 24 hours of these festivities. But overall, what has been the reaction so far from this year's state ceremony?
Well, it wasn't without controversy, after all. The first thing that we can mention here is the fact that Ben Gvir tried to sit next to Netanyahu, and everybody now is talking about this because he was asked to change his seat. That wasn't the seat that was assigned to him, rather was some other seat, and Mir Regev, the one that is organizing this whole ceremony, asked him to move. He got angry, he left the whole ceremony, and now everybody is talking about this in Israel. And in general, let's say that there are mixed comments about this ceremony from the coalition. Of course, everybody is celebrating and saying that this was a ceremony that represents everybody in Israel, just like we have seen the one Am, the one people, as it was mentioned in some parts of the ceremony. But in the opposition, they are not liking it. They're saying that it was too militaristic. First, they're saying that the camera went and showed Netanyahu several times, which is not true. The Prime Minister was shown several times during the ceremony. And also, Bennett, for example, the main rival for Netanyahu, just posted about this, saying that next year he will bring the ceremony back to the people, meaning that this ceremony was showing the, coalition or the Israeli government more than it needs to be. It's too political, in other words. That's why he is criticizing. Same things also were heard from Yair Golan, another opposition leader as well. They're all criticizing this ceremony. By the way, while this ceremony was played, there was an alternative ceremony in Israel. It was for the coalition of opposition factions, let's call them. They also did some similar ceremony with the torch lighting and all of this, including many that are leading the protests and the demonstrations against the government since the coalition got in. And we've seen there also celebrations. That was not, of course, the state ceremony. That's why we're not showing it, but definitely it shows you how much there is a lot of politics even involved even in this day while we're watching this another ceremony somewhere else.
All right, Balig Sladin with an overall analysis of the different views, because of course nothing is apolitical here in Israel, but overall this has been the state ceremony marking the 78th Independence Day at Mount Herzl in Jerusalem. As you watch these men and women leave your screens, we are going out for a break here on I-24 News, but we will be back again at the top of the hour with some news updates, as even in the midst of an Independence Day, the news is still happening here in the region. So we will be bringing it to you live on I-24 News. Make sure to join us at the top of the hour.